Welcome to Next Play.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Next Play. We got track star Masai Russell with us today. Masai, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
So excited. We have so many people we already told that we're just like, I can't wait till that comes out. I follow her and she's incredible. I know. Lots of followers. You're all over the platform. But
Thank you.
The running world is very, they're loyal, right? And so when they fall in love, they fall in love. So I want to go over your accolades really quick to let our listeners, anyone who doesn't know you, I don't know where they've been, but I want to tell them a little bit about your accomplishments and why we want to talk to you today about the mental side of running. So your background, you're American collegiate record holder for the 60-meter hurdles with a time of 7.75 seconds. It's insane, really. When I read these out loud, the numbers they're just insane. They're insane, really. Overall collegiate record holder for the 100-meter hurdles with a time of 12.36 seconds. 2024 Olympic gold medalist. Congrats. And the 100-meter hurdles. That was incredible. I watched it over and over and over again, by the way.
Yes, that's what everyone was saying. I kept watching it too. I watched it at least 100 times. At least.
Every day, if I were you, I'd wake up every day. I'd wake up and watch that. And then lastly, and very super badass, currently you hold the second fastest time in the world for the 100-meter hurdles and the American record with the time of 12.17. I loved that call, by the way. Yeah, that was awesome. So congratulations. Thanks for being here. We'll jump right into kind of asking you questions about the mental side and love to hear. So go ahead, O.
I got to start off. What felt better, the world record or the Olympic gold medal? Like if you had to pick, which one felt better?
Yeah, honestly, for me, I have had my fair share with the records in college and actually not getting the gold. So I'm not going to lie, the American record felt great, but the gold medal, no one can take my gold medal from me. Like I will forever be the Olympic champion. It doesn't matter on any given year what happens. If I never run again, I am the Olympic gold medalist from the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. So the American record is like amazing and beautiful, but just like I broke someone's American record, someone could come and break my American record. And that just doesn't stick like the accolades and like the medals. So both felt amazing, but I'm a bigger fan of the medals at this point in my life. Because that's what sticks and that's what can't be taken. So yeah, that's my answer. I want both when it's all said and done. But the gold definitely hit way harder.
I had a question too. Like on those days where you break the world record and when you win the Olympics, like do you feel a little extra juice that day, or is it like same day, like regular, and just that time shows at the end and it is what it is? Or do you feel a little extra juice?
I just feel like for me, I know when I'm going to run fast, like when I'm not really focused on like what other people are doing and I'm just like solely locked in on my lane and just focusing on my abilities and how amazing I am. Sometimes like we let our minds like kind of like just get sidetracked on like, oh, what are they doing? What are they doing? Like looking at other people. Like when I'm just locked into my zone, I know I'm going to run fast. So when I broke the American record, I didn't think I was going to run that fast, but I knew I was going to run fast and I knew it was a good race. And then when I looked at the time, I was like, all right, like I wasn't expecting that, which is why everyone seen the reaction that I had, because it was just like, I wasn't expecting this, but no, yeah. So, I mean, I feel like for me, honestly, at this point, like I'm always going to run fast, but I know when I'm really about to do something crazy, when I'm just like within just my mind, my body, and my zone.
I got another question. Do you ever like see? I ask all the athletes that we have on this. Like, do you ever talk shit like in the tent? Like, I'm about to dust your ass. Like,
no. I mean, we don't really talk like in the women's hurdles in my event. It's just so competitive. Yeah. So for us, it's like an unspoken kind of thing. It's like we don't gotta say what we about to do. Just we're always pushing each other. It's always going to be a fast time whenever we line up. And, it's just, we don't got to say nothing. You don't got to say too much when it's understood.
Yeah. I feel that. I just feel like if I was the fastest in the world, I'd probably be like, good luck,
Yeah. The women's hurdles, like, we're just always so close. And, like,
yeah.
Holder in the 100 hurdles, like, some days she gets beat, some days she's winning. I'm the Olympic gold medalist. Like, I've gotten beat and other people have prevailed. So it's like, it's never one man's game consistently, but that's where I'm trying to get to at a point in my career where it's like, it's her race to lose every time. Like, I know for me, when I'm locked in on myself, that's every time, but that's like a mindset thing that I'm just still working through to just be hitting on all cylinders every single time I compete. But right now, like, I just give myself grace because I am so young and so fresh into the professional space, and I know I've done some great things. And then, of course, the standard of what people expect is much greater. But as much as the standard is put on me, like, I'm still learning through the professional realm. Like, this is my second year and it's not even a full 2 years yet.
Yep.
Right. What do you lean into when you talk about locking in from the mental side? What's your go-to to lock in?
For me, locking in sounds a little different than others. But making some TikToks, like my race day TikToks, definitely journaling. That's on the serious side. Like, I journal, I listen to my motivational speakers, just like a plethora of different motivational speakers. Like I said, I journal, and then after like I've like set the day up on the right foot, then I'm like just free doing my TikToks, getting ready, listening to music, and I just set the day up to just have like the utmost success.
For sure.
Like
go ahead.
Are you like a superstitious person? Like, do you have the exact same, like, if you gotta meet at 3, like, do you do the same thing leading up every time, or do you kind of go with the flow?
I kind of just have a schedule. That's the only thing that's changed from professional to college, just because last year, like, I feel like I lost myself in the midst of competition and just the midst of not competing to the best of my ability. So I had to like relearn this new version of myself. So for me now, I do like kind of plan out my whole entire day. It's not like a superstition thing. It's just like just planning the day to the point where you're about to run, just getting that schedule together so that like, all right, here's when I'm going to wake up, when I'm going to eat, when I'm going to shake out. Because the way that the professional realm works, they kind of bring us back there a little early, like 20 to 25 minutes early. So it's not like we can just like warm up and go on the track. It's like, no, you warm up, you sit down, you go to the car room, you put your bib number on. So the schedule has to be different and you have to treat it differently. And it's much different than college because we don't have multiple rounds to compete. It's like you have one time most of the time to just run one big race and then that's it. So the schedule has to be a little different. The way you approach it has to be a little different. But to say the least, I'm not really a superstitious person. Like, I don't have like a pair of socks or a pair of underwear that I like have to wear every single time. Like, I don't like to get into the superstitions because it's like, no, like you did that because you did that, and it wasn't because of any outside things. It's just because you're great.
For sure. And I think what you're saying too is having that routine is how you regulate emotionally so you can go perform, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I think that pre-race ritual is so important, whatever it is. How have you learned to talk to yourself? Like you said, you're still young, yet with all this incredible accolades that you had. Have you talked to yourself different, throughout the process? Like, we call it the feedback loop, right? How does an athlete talk to themselves? And lots of athletes are really honest that sometimes are, not saying the nicest things to themselves. So have you learned or to talk to yourself in a way that motivates you or helps you?
So at the end of my last year in 2023 in college, I never really believed in self-talk, writing your goals, saying your goals. Like, I just never thought about it. I'm like, I've had success, like not to the point where I've, it wasn't the ultimate height of success, but I had success. I was All-American. I came like 4th and 3rd place at NCAA's national runner-up. So I'm like, I'm good. Like, I progressed every year. So, why would I change anything? But, going into my last year, I was just like, this is the time to make it count. So me speaking to myself, or me writing my goals down, or even saying my goals before I go to bed, like, that's not going to hurt me. It's only going to help. Even if it works or doesn't work, it can only help. So to say the least, my last year is when I first started to speak over my life, speak over myself, speak over the goals that I had for myself and the things that I wanted out of my life and out of track. And I would say, I want to be a collegiate record holder. I want to be NCAA champion. I want to run this time or that time. And I mean, I broke 2 collegiate records, indoor and outdoor. And I was like, it was like night and day. And I don't think that anything changed in my training. It was more so about the mental component of, you have to act like who you want to become. And I very much learned that. And I mean, to this day, like I write my goals down, like they're on my refrigerator. Like I speak them over my life, over myself, like all the time. Even when I'm like working out and it's tough and I don't want to do it, I'm like, come on, like, this is what you want. Like weakness is just pain leaving the body. Like all these different things.
Oh, I love
I
it.
never like talk to myself though. So I mean, I tell everyone now, like, when you want something out of your life, like you gotta put it out into the atmosphere. Like the energy that you put out is what you're gonna get back. So if you're speaking negatively over your life and negatively over your situation, like you're gonna get negative back. So I'm always a pretty positive person, even in the midst of a storm that that may look like a storm, but it's really just a test for where you're headed.
Yeah. I had a question too. So like you said, like you got a little bit more time with like the pros and in college, like before the meet. Do you get like any pre-game, like pre-race jitters, or are you kind of like, let's do this thing? Like, cause I don't know. Sometimes when I got too much time, I think too much. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely inevitable to not get nervous or not have the jitters, not like, even like sometimes like doubt crosses your mind, but like, that's all, like you have to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do, like on the front half of just who you are as a person. Like, I don't even want to have to think if I worked hard enough. I don't even want to have to think if I slept enough. I don't even want to have to think these things. Like, I just want to be just solely locked in on how great I'm going to do rather than the negative things, because the negative things try to creep into your mind in the midst of like competition, in the midst of war. So I just try to do my part. So, I mean, the jitters are like, I've learned to look at them as like excitement. Like, I'm just excited to run. Like, these butterflies are like, or butterflies or this adrenaline is like prepping me to be the best person that I'm meant to be right now. So I don't look at it in a bad light. It's more just like excitement. But
who is your role model for that? Yeah, sorry. Who's your role model? Anybody throughout your life that you looked up to?
I mean, I look up to, I always say, like, I look up to my mom. I mean, my mom's a doctor. She wasn't a world-class athlete. So, you can always look at other people's lives and other people's situations to help you in your life. Like, we don't have the same path, but we had the same goals, and that's just to be the best in our fields. So my mom has been just like a really great example of what hard work looks like and what dedication and just showing up looks like. So, the nervousness thing, my dad did tell me when I was younger, because I used to get so nervous to the point where I couldn't even eat breakfast. I'm like about to throw up and gag and do all the craziness. And he's like, these people put their pants on the same way you put your pants on. Like, these people are not less human than you. Just because they may seem better than you right now, give yourself a chance. So both my parents have played a huge role in my life, in a very positive way.
That's awesome. Owen told me not to tell you this, but I'm like, I'm telling her. So I love to run. This morning I did quarter repeats. Okay. All right.
Oh,
and also thank you. I did 8 of them, at a 6:30. I mean, that's not that bad. I'm 51, right? That's okay.
No, shout out to you. My mom probably can't get around to track one.
So I'm doing them, and we have this big thing with like mantras that when we work with athletes, like what's their mantra? And, usually I'm like, run pretty, run strong. And I'm like, today thinking about you. And I just used your name to get me through the last 2. And so I just kept saying it over and over again. So I just trying to get it down. Owen's like, don't tell him.
Really weird.
It's not weird. You have a cool name.
See, it's actually not like, and it makes me like so happy when like people actually tell me how much like I motivate them or how much I push them or just got them closer to their goals. Cause like a lot of people like comment like then under my TikToks, like they're like, you inspire me. You're the reason why I started hurdling. This, and this. Like, it makes me happy because it's showing me that I am doing the right thing. I'm being the right example. So that really inspires me, and it blesses me more than you can even think. So
good. See, I told you that. I told you.
Yeah. I got a question too. Have you always had that swag and that confidence from a young age, or did that kind of come later when you've had that big success?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I've always been very confident in myself. But I feel like for me, when I figured out who I was, that's when it became like it don't matter what anyone does. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm gonna step with you. Like, we here now. So
Yeah. You know what makes you so relatable? I don't know if you've heard this. You're so authentic. And I watched a clip of you after the Budapest where you had the disappointing race, right? And I found it so like your energy and your authenticity in that moment where you were disappointed. I find so many athletes push that away or
right.
see it, and like kind of like move on too quickly. And what I saw anyway, and I'm curious what the experience was like for you, was such honest, like raw emotion. Like, yeah, I'm disappointed, that's real.
Right.
And then it seemed like you were allowing that, so I'm curious what that experience was like, for you too. Yeah.
For me, I mean, it was super tough because that was in 2023 and that was after I had the best season of my life. That was the first time I ever made a senior world championship team on a USA team. And as most people know, like the USA team is the hardest team to make in the hurdles. So it was like the hardest team in the hardest event. And I made the team. And this is off breaking the collegiate record. I'm having the best success I've ever had in my life. So I'm going to world championships. Like, I'm leaving with a medal. Like, I'm about to do my thing. Like, I just beat these girls 2 weeks ago. So who about to tell me I'm not?
Yeah.
And, of course, when I faced that adversity in that moment, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, this is the name of the game, but just as high as you can be and just as on top of the world or how confident you can be in a single moment that could be taken from you in a split second with one hit hurdle, with one clip, anything, it could be over. So for me, I feel like my job as an influencer or as someone that people look to for inspiration is just to show my life and just show it in the best way that I can. And that's just me being Masai. And people do like to shy away from those adverse moments or when things aren't going right or when things aren't going their way. But for me, that was a moment that was just, it was what it was. Like,
Yeah.
you guys know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm capable of. It didn't go right today, but this is not the end right now. Like I said those things, like, we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And I just have faith that it doesn't matter what it may look like, how bad my situation may be. I'm going to get to what's meant for me at the end of the day, because I'm always going to work. I'm always going to put in the time. I'm always going to believe in myself, and I'm always going to speak life over myself. So that's why I feel like I would never not get to where I'm meant to be, because I show it all. And, disappointment is a part of the reality.
It is.
And if I sit here and say that, like, it's been all peaches and cream and it's been great the entire time, I'll be sitting here lying. Like, I tell people all the time, I've had way more losses than I've ever had wins. And like, people are they're just now starting to see the wins, but it took a lot of losses before anyone even knew who I was.
Yeah. Speaking on that, now, like you said, like you've had those big wins. Do you feel like a sense of like pressure, like just because of the name now and like, you got that big fan base, and how do you deal with that pressure, or do you kind of not let it get you too much?
Yeah, honestly, I just look at it as a privilege. I look at it as a blessing. Like, the pressure, to have the pressure is a privilege. And I think it's just all about the perspective that you have when you look at whatever the situation it is in your life. Like, I don't want to sit here and say like life is the easiest thing in the world, like, but it's just how you view. It's all about it's all about the perspective you have towards it. So for me, it's a blessing to have that pressure. And I'm not the first person who's become an Olympic champion, and I definitely won't be the last person that becomes an Olympic champion. And I feel like the people who get that title, for me, I'm a faith-based person. So for me, I don't believe that God would have given me that title so young, so early, if I wasn't able to carry it. That's what I've told people. So however that looks like I feel like I'm ready for whatever. And through faith, discipline, and hard work, like, shoot, I mean, I feel like it's inevitable for me to lose, like, to lose faith, to lose. I can lose a race, but like, I'm not gonna lose who I am, because you have to learn how to win to learn how to lose, like, so
absolutely.
For me, it's I feel like I'm always gonna win. I'm gonna win in life because of just my perspective towards everything.
Yeah.
Do you have other mindset tricks you can share with young listeners out there, and not even young, just anybody
Yeah.
around, like even how you like any of your senses that you tap into? We talk a lot about that as like grounding, like what people see or hear or touch. And individual sports are so specific, and everyone. So I'm just curious if you have other mindset tricks that, you happen to.
Yeah, for me, honestly, I don't really have anything else that I do other than, like I said, like the just speaking life over yourself. I just feel like,
Yeah.
what
What
you put
you
out.
told. Mhm.
Yeah, what you put out is what you're gonna get back. So for me, that's just like the main thing, and just having belief in yourself and just believing who you are and believing what you have to offer. I feel like when you believe in yourself, like you can go as far as you want to take it. Like, a coach can pour into you, a coach can guide you or tell you how great you're going to be or do. But like at the end of the day, you're the one that has to trust in your abilities. And I tell people, everyone has a gift that if they work their gift, then they can impress the world. They can shock the world. People look at me as like, I'm an anomaly. I'm an alien. Like I've done things that no one has ever, I've done something that only a tiny percent of people have done in the world. And my brother says it all the time. Like, she grew up right across the hall from me and she didn't do anything different than the average person. It's just belief in yourself and belief in the work will take you a long way. So, I mean, for me, it's just speaking positive. I don't have any other
No, that's good. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. What
Go
about
ahead.
before whatever, like the Olympics, right? Like do you visualize that night before in the hotel room or whatever? Like you try to close your eyes and visualize like, all right, this is it's like go time tomorrow. This is what to expect, or not much of that. Try not to think too much.
I try not to think too much, but at the Olympics, especially the night before the biggest race of my life, it was hard to not think about the biggest race of your life. So, I was just trying to stay grounded and just be like, this is the same 10 hurdles. This is the same 10 hurdles. It doesn't matter. Like, this don't think of it bigger than what it is. Like, yes, it's the Olympics, but it's the same 10 hurdles that you've always run. But yeah, I mean, that day, like, I just honestly, like, in, the most honest way, transparently, like, I could not stop visualizing myself coming through the line first.
I love
it. You gotta
do. There it is.
I was like,
that's what you visualized. Yeah. I mean, honestly, did you love, because you being able to kick the ass of so many men, do you enjoy that? Like, being fast? Sorry. I mean, I would love it.
See, I honestly don't even really test men because I was just telling my boyfriend today. Just because, like, it's crazy to say, like, athletic men, let's be clear, athletic men are very fast and they're strong. So, like, every time I've raced my boyfriend, he's not a world-class athlete. Like, he can beat me in a race. Maybe over 200, 300, 400 meters, I would get him. But, in a quick sprint,
That's fine, but you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? He's rare. Then he's gifted too. Owen can speak to that, where he was, why don't you tell the story, Owen, thinking you could outrun me?
Oh, yeah.
Tell her, she'll like it.
Well, yeah, I mean, she thought she was like faster than me. We're like, all right, we'll do like a mile, whatever, which in the first place, that does not judge the speed, as you know. That's different.
Yeah.
So
that's different. Yeah.
She catches me on vacation, like I had like donuts for breakfast and like, oh, let's go out. And like, yeah, obviously I start cramping up a few
by mile 3, he was cramping up.
That's crazy. So you're like a distance runner. You can run long.
I mean, at a certain point in your life, like after my third kid, I was like, I was a sprinter actually way back when. But then, you hit a certain age, you're not, you don't see women like me running, 100 meter.
Yeah.
Do you just do like, are you pretty like specific on, on no, just hurdles, or will you still do like 100, 200?
Yeah, when I was in college, of course, for me, I did the 400 hurdles. That was the first like hurdle event. Yeah, that got me into hurdling. So I was a 400 hurdler first. But like I was a 400 hurdler when I got to high school. But when I was like, younger, I would do like the 1, 2, 4. Like everybody would do everything. I was primarily a 400 runner. And then when I started to realize like, like the 400 hurdle seems a little more fun than just a flat 400. Let's tap into that. And then when I got to college, I did a couple 60 meters, 200s, open 400s. Never really the 100. I did the 100, I think my senior year, my actual senior, not my 5th year, my senior year, the year I graduated. I did 100, and then I've run 3 100-meter races this year just because of the Grand Slam that I'm competing in. But other than that, I mean, I'm always like focused on hurdles, and then if I want to have fun, it's just like, all right, let's see where we're at. But it's not anything like, all right, she about to go out here and break a world record right now in the 100.
Wait, what's your? I wanna forget because I ran track in like 7th grade. But like for reference, what was your fastest 400 hurdles time?
54.
Jesus.
I think like 6. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fast.
That's so fast, honestly. Okay, so over the years, let's just talk gear because we love gear. And I feel like track has gotten so, they're like the leaders in fashion, I think anyway. So how much does that matter, right? How much does that matter what you're wearing, like, I don't know, to make you feel in boss mode? I don't know.
See, mine is a little different because I'm still trying to get used to like dressing up and showing up to the track meet like in regular clothes, because like people are starting to do the walkthroughs and wearing outfits, kind of like how the NBA and the NFL does it. So I haven't really partaken in it because for me, when I go to the track, my mindset is like I'm putting on my gear, I'm putting on my uniform to get in the mindset of competing. Like that's just me. And that's when I feel like, I'm a boss. Like I'm ready to kick some butt because I'm stepping into that competition mode. But other people, they have their own ways of doing things. But the women do be stepping out.
Yeah.
We put it on.
Yeah.
I put it on. I put it on, outside the track.
Okay.
But on the track, we're working on that. Because when I'm competing, my mind is like focused on one thing.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, shout out to the other women that have though. I'm trying to catch up.
All right, we'll watch. Right. When's your next race?
So my next race was supposed to be next weekend. It's still kind of I'm like to be determined.
Okay.
I've just been struggling with some personal things, so I don't know if I'm going to be running next week in Grand Slam, but fingers crossed that I do. I'm going to see my doctor tomorrow, so just prayers up. I had like a little incident at practice, so I'm healthy, but we just have to slow some things down to pick things back up.
For sure. That's the name of the game. We always ask everybody that we have on the pod, how would they define mental toughness? So if we can put you on the spot, how would you define it?
That's a good question. I would define mental toughness by getting it done throughout however it looks. Just because you're on top at that moment, that doesn't make you mentally tough than someone that's coming second, third, or even 4th place to you. I feel like being mentally tough is just getting it done throughout any circumstances, showing up at any time, no matter how you feel, of course, like you got to be healthy, but no matter how you feel towards the competition, you just have to be willing to show up. And I believe for myself, I was always mentally tough. I was always just relentless. I've always showed up, never ducked a race. I never shied away from the competition, even though I knew I wasn't ready or equipped. Like I never shied away from it. And for me, I feel like that built the monster that everyone has, now come to see, because I never gave up. I was always relentless, and I was always determined to get to what I wanted, regardless of how it looked at that time. I stayed on it. My boyfriend always says, it's easy to focus on yourself when you're the only one around you, but how mentally focused and how mentally tough can you be when there's people right beside you with the same amount of talent, and for you to believe that you're still just as good with that same confidence. So for me, I think it's just being a dog, like throughout anything, never shying away, showing up, being relentless, and regardless of how it looks, you still gonna walk away with your chin up, lose, win, or draw.
Yeah, that sounds like you, O, when she says that. Yeah, that's how he talks. Yeah.
No, I like that. Yeah, we always ask all the athletes. So like we've had some NBA players on here, and they give. I'm always interested to see how they define it. I got one more question. What's the pregame tunes? What do you listen to?
Dude, it's crazy to say. A little bit of Rod Wave. People are like, oh, that's a little slow, but I don't need nothing like too crazy, too hype. Yeah, Rod Wave. Lil Baby is my like. All right, I'm starting to get into that hype.
A little more.
Drake is definitely on there. I'm trying to think of who else. I just be listening to whatever's on that playlist. Cause for real, I don't even really be. It's like the music be playing, but it's like I'm listening, but I'm not, cause I'm like, trying to focus on two things. But those are definitely my top 3.
Okay. And any mantras you have or things you say over and over again?
All I have is all I need.
Oh, we got to add it. That's the first time we heard that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's a really good one. Yeah. Well, what a beautiful monster you are, honestly, incredible. And we so appreciate you taking the time to share, your incredible story, your journey. And you have a lot of people out there that follow you. And I think you're such a wonderful role model for athletes and the way that you handle it. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
And Owen will send you some swag, some pure swag.
We got some swag coming on the way, so we'll send it over.
That's all his department. I stay out of that. You don't want me doing that, but he loves it. So anyway, thanks again for being on the podcast. And for everybody, if you want some more wonderful tips like the ones Masai shared with us today, please check us out on Instagram at Pure Sports Mindset, or you can check us out online at puresportsmindset.com. Anyone that's also looking for a coach, check us out as well to learn more tips on how to perform even close to the level of who we had on today. So thanks so much. Again, we appreciate it.